Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. As you can see, we're in a little bit of a scenery change, but over the weekend I decided to make cookies, and what better way to tell you about our next unit than over some chocolate chip cookies. So, trying to break the ice with that one. But yeah, I've never recorded myself baking before, but what if you asked me what I like to bake? And, well, it all just kind of fit together. So here we are. Bear with me as I try to concentrate on not only mixing all these things together, but also telling you about our next unit, which is the research paper. Without further ado, let's just jump into this, shall we? First and foremost, hope you're doing well. We kind of finished up our Of Mice and Men unit, and now we're taking a step back from our reading in this class, and we're gonna be writing our very first paper, like major paper, other than that on-demand we had a while ago. So, as I may have mentioned to you previously in our class, you are going to be writing a research paper. Please don't freak out. The research paper itself is actually a lot of fun, as long as you take the necessary steps to write the paper, to pick the correct topic, and so forth. So that's what I'm going to talk to you a little bit today. This is our intro video, a very mellow, hello, kind of day. But, alright, should we see if I can multitask, shall we? I'm making oatmeal chocolate chip cookies because we have a bunch of oats, but no raisins. And if you tell me that oatmeal raisin cookies are gross, you're wrong. So I'm just gonna make chocolate chip oatmeal cookies and hope for the best. So while I start adding butter and sugar together, let's chat, shall we? First and foremost, that didn't go well. If you don't know how to bake, you have to put all your wet ingredients together, the dry ingredients. So that's what I'm gonna do. So the research paper, where do I begin with this? I personally love this unit. It's a lot of fun because you have a lot of freedom. Hold on. You have a lot of freedom with this one because you actually get to pick your topics, which I think is the most fun part of this entire unit. So, as I said, it is a research paper. So you, as an individual, will be picking a topic, whatever topic you so want. I highly suggest, I don't know how to stress it enough, please pick something you like. Don't pick something stupid. Don't pick something that you find boring. It is going to be a pain if you do so. I highly recommend something that you genuinely have interest in. So, for example, one of the questions I received a couple attendance forms ago was why I became a teacher. And there's actually a little bit of a story to it. There's different elements and why, and I won't bore you with all of it. But one of the reasons I became a teacher, or so desperately wanted to become a teacher, is because of a family friend of mine. Her daughter actually ended up getting cancer. She's okay now, don't worry. But she was being treated at Children's Hospital in Wauwatosa for a while, and I found out that they actually had a school within the hospital, and I thought that was super cool, and they ended up helping our family friend and her daughter a ton, and the daughter still got to go to school. She was in second grade, I believe, when this happened, so she was in that very much I still love school phase. But yeah, so I learned about this program, and I learned about having a school, and it really inspired me to I really want to be a part of something like that. So eventually I would love to work at a hospital school, but why I'm telling you this story is because one, it's one of the elements of answering the first question of why I became a teacher, and two, it's my best example for this research project. So whenever I introduce this project, it's kind of the story I like to tell, because if I were you, if I were writing this paper right now, that is a topic that I genuinely enjoy, that I'm interested in. So the idea of hospital schools and how are they benefiting children and getting their education, that would be my umbrella topic. See how it's something interesting, something I care about? Maybe it's not as interesting to you, but you're gonna be so much more excited to write this paper if you pick something you care about. This isn't really me baking and talking to you, it's me kind of doing a couple things and then talking to you, but we'll get together. This is gonna be really loud for a second, so hold on. Anyways, so research paper, right? You're gonna be picking whatever topic you want as long as it's approved by me. That's a fun thing. It has to go through a process. All of you are gonna be doing a research proposal of sorts. One sec. going to be happening is you are going to be picking topics and you are going to be proposing said topics to me. So they have to be approved by me first. You can't just do whatever you want and me just trust you blindly as much as you would like to. So how it's going to start is we're going to kind of start thinking about topics we might want to research about. So whatever that might be. For this specific research paper, I always encourage students to look almost at like critical issues. So climate change, the economy, taxes, whatever kind of critical issue you really want. Critical issue is kind of a weird statement, but not necessarily has to be a major issue. But the reason I do that is because this research paper is going to be kind of divided into 3 parts. So what you're going to end up doing is you are going to be telling me like the 3 different stages of your research topic. So what I mean by that is, what did it look like in the past? What does it look like now? And what is it going to look like in the future? Typically, that's kind of how why I use critical issues as an example, because there's a little bit more clarity with it, but it does not necessarily need to be an issue. I'm looking for a research topic and how well you can do extensive research on it with scholarly sources and finding solid information to make solid conclusions. When it comes to picking your topic, while I'm kind of going along the lines of critical issue, there's 2 approaches you can take to this research paper. Your paper can either be answering a research question. So for my example with the hospital schools, how does hospital schooling benefit students or children who have to be treated, right? That's my question, and then I will use the paper to answer it. Or you can just pick a topic, so hospital schools, right? And then that paper would kind of tell the different stages of the topic itself. So there's 2 different approaches to it. It kind of depends on what you end up wanting to research about. Couple questions, or well actually the biggest question I have with this paper is, how long does it have to be? You've probably heard the rumors that this is a really long paper, usually 8 to 10 pages, and you would be correct. When students typically write this paper, the average one is, I would say 8 to 10, yeah, on a good day. The thing with me is I don't actually put a page limit on this. Would I like you to write 20 pages? No, please don't. Here's what I'm gonna say. All of you have different writing skills and how well you can convey your information. So when you are writing, some of you might be able to condense your points a lot smaller than some others. So maybe one of you turn in a 7-page paper and maybe one of you turns in a 12-page paper. That is totally okay. What I will tell you though is I'm expecting a certain criteria with this paper, and I have never, ever seen a person do well on this if they only write me 3 to 4 pages. So please keep that in mind, and that's why I like to tell you the gauge of 8 to 10, but technically you will not lose points specifically on how long it is. So keep that in mind. Speaking of what I'm grading you on, you'll kind of see the criteria in the rubric. I'm posting all the directions and information on it today, specifically. So along with a rubric, you'll also be seeing a schedule. Hold on. So as you will see posted to Classroom, along with the instructions, the rubric, and so forth, I've posted a tentative schedule. And that schedule will be all the steps you need to take in order to properly complete this assessment. I lay it all out there for you. This is going to be about the next month of class. You will see all the due dates, all the things we need to do, the things that need to be accomplished. Grabbing my oats and chocolate chips. So I try to put that out there so you kind of have a gauge of how long things are going to take and how much time you have for each portion. Obviously it's tentative. If we are behind, if things aren't going as fast, then I will move things as we go, but roughly a month. I think I actually made it exactly a month. Today, or the day you'll be seeing this, is April 21st, and it is due May 21st. So you have a nice solid month to be writing this paper. You will be completing 2 drafts of the paper. We'll talk about that more later, but that's just something to keep in mind. Other than that, I think that's about the realm of what the research paper is. Sound good? Cool. All right, so what we're gonna be focusing on today is picking our topic or some ideas to what our topics will be. So for a research paper, the thing is, research papers are very narrow. So you are going to come up with something very specific. When I wrote my research paper in high school, here's how I'll best explain a narrowed topic. So when I was in high school, I wrote a paper about the mafia, and I really wanted to focus in on, I don't know, maybe I was really into Al Capone at the time, I don't really remember. But my major topic was the mafia, and then I kind of focused on Las Vegas itself. So how did it get started, right? Well, by the end of my paper, my specific research question was how the mafia influenced the development of Las Vegas and how the Catholic Church interfered with that construction. So I took my original thought, right? I had my broad topic of the mafia and maybe a little bit of connection with Las Vegas, but by the end of it, I had a very narrowed research question. So that is something you need to keep in mind, but for right now, we are focusing on your broad topic. So broad topic, mafia, right? Maybe Las Vegas, the development of it, something like that. We have steps put in place to help you start narrowing those things down, but for right now, I need to know your general, where you're thinking. So what I need you to do today is start thinking of some topics. What I'd like you to do is come up with 2 to 3. I would honestly recommend picking 3 because here's the thing about me and research papers. I don't let you repeat in sections. So only one of you can write the same one topic per class. I won't make you, if people write the same thing, like if I have 2 people talking about climate change, one from A block and one from C block, that's fine. But that means you gotta get a little creative, and you should be. You should think of something that's interesting, that's fun, that's relevant to you. Like I said previously, this is going to be a boring month if you pick something that you don't even have an interest in, not even slightly. Another way to think about it is what's something you want to learn about. It doesn't necessarily have to be something you already care about or genuinely know information about. It could be something you've always wanted to learn. So keep that in mind as we go forward. Specifically what I want you to do, like I said, is I want you to start researching and kind of pick 2 to 3 topics that you would be interested in using for this paper. What you'll do then is post it in a classroom as a question, or it's like it comes up as a question. And that is going to be our discussion board. What I would like you to do is post your 2 to 3 topics and a brief explanation of them. So maybe what direction you'd want to go with them, some questions you'd want to answer, things like that. Give a brief description of maybe where you would go with this topic. Because what we're going to be doing tomorrow is we are going to be peer reviewing or kind of giving some peer feedback on the topics people are proposing so you can start narrowing in on which one you want to talk about. Tomorrow will also give you the opportunity to kind of see, oh, 7 other people picked the same topic as me. Maybe I'm going to go with topic number 2. Like I said, only 1 per class, and I think I'm going to do first come, first serve. I'm not really sure yet. It's going to be kind of a rampage. That's what I normally do in class anyways. So this has totally become me just kind of talking and then kind of baking cookies. So anyways, that is what you need to do for me today. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to start off a little slow and then we'll have some stuff going as we move forward. But yeah, we are moving right on into the research paper. And I'm excited. You should be too. If you have any questions about it, or if I glossed over something that you're confused on, I posted all the instructions on the classroom, the rubric, what the things are going to look like, so forth. If you're confused on the 3 sections of the paper, I'm trying not to jump too far ahead when we don't even have topics picked out, but I gave some sample questions you would maybe answer in each of the sections of the paper. So you can take a look at that. I highly recommend taking the time to kind of look through those documents so you have that figured out, or at least an idea of where we're going with this. Sound good? Sound great? Awesome. I'm gonna get a baking sheet and then talk about the next thing. Okay, well to wrap, oh boy, all right. So to wrap up today, I kind of gave you an overview of what this research paper is gonna look like. We know what we're supposed to do. If you don't, please start picking topics, 2 to 3, written in the discussion question, posted in a classroom. That'll be due tomorrow, like always, because we will be giving feedback tomorrow on those. Since I've been a little MIA with the videos, or all over the place, I have a couple of questions that were asked in the attendance form a while ago. So I'm gonna answer those as I put these cookies on a baking sheet. The first one, if I didn't get to it, I'm sorry also. The first one I can recall I kind of answered already was why I wanted to become a teacher. Part of it was because of my family friend and the idea of hospital schooling. Another one was my high school teachers were some of my favorite people in life, and they just kind of like inspired me, you know? I had great teachers and I wanted to be a great teacher for someone else one day, so that's kind of part of why I'm here. Along with that, I totally confirmed it in college when I had this professor, and she's literally one of my favorite people in the world. So there's that. She actually, fun fact, knows Mr. Curtis. And Mr. Curtis surprised me one of the, like, I think the second month of school, and brought her in to say hello to me. And I literally screamed during B block. It was super fantastic. So just a lot of inspiration, and I don't know, I love English, I love talking about it, I love books and so forth, and I always thought it'd be a lot of fun to help people learn about it, to kind of pick out and analyze things, and to kind of see deeper meaning in not only literature, but maybe life a little bit too. So that's why I became a high school English teacher and not elementary. I could never work with little kids. I tried, didn't go well. Just kidding. I was a summer camp counselor, and that was fun, but never could do it full time. Props to all elementary and middle school teachers. Another question I was asked, what was another I had? Oh, when am I getting married? This has actually been a funny little question. I was supposed to get married June of this year, and currently due to the circumstances, that might not be happening still, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. So, yep. That was a fun conversation to have. Yeah, so, God, I'm just being loud and obnoxious, aren't I? Anyways, so that's the marriage question, or when I was supposed to get married. Hopefully we can still pull it off. What was another one I had? What did I like to make? You know what someone asked me? And I love this question, honestly. Someone asked me, why are all English books sad? I don't have a good answer for it, because I didn't, like, have you noticed that? Because I noticed that, I don't know, maybe my senior year of college, the majority of the books I read with my students are kind of sad. I mean, look at the stuff we read so far in our class. Crucible, John Proctor dies. That was the second question. Why does everyone die? Because, like, Crucible, Abigail got away, John Proctor dies. Our Town, Emily dies. There's not really a happy ending. It's more just an ominous, like, we need to appreciate life. And then Lenny, poor Lenny. Lenny doesn't make it. George doesn't get to, like, have his pal around anymore. It's just, I guess somehow I would counter that question is, how entertaining would it be if everything ended up just a-okay? So, it makes literature a little more fun. If you can name me a literature book that you read in high school that actually ended in a happy ending, please let me know, because I would be curious what those are and what their concepts were. Other than that, do I have any other questions? I probably do, I just can't remember them. I'm really sorry. One of you asked me if I should like to join TikTok. I still don't really understand what it is, and it scares me, not gonna lie. So, probs not. I also can't dance. So the question was specifically, can you do a TikTok dance? And probably not. I am not coordinated whatsoever. I tried gymnastics for like 3 weeks, and they actually kicked me out because I just don't have that kind of coordination. Soccer, I could play. Skiing, great. Gymnastics and dancing, nothing. I'm terrible at it. So, no. But I think that's it. Probably the most random segment of this video. My bad. Ugh. I thought I'd be better at these at some point. Like, I thought I'd get used to being on camera or like talking to it, or I don't know, like being prepared to talk, but mostly I just end up kind of spouting out some stuff, and hopefully it makes sense. So if you can't tell already, that's what this is. But anyways, I guess I'm gonna finish up these cookies one last time, because I just want to make sure you really know what you're supposed to be doing right now. We are starting our research paper, if you haven't picked up on that, or you just kind of picked this random spot to start. You are going to be focusing on picking a topic for right now. Remember, this can be a question or just a broad topic itself. If you can start moving into the question portion, that'd be great too. You're not required, though, to pick a research question. What I want you to do is pick 2 to 3 topics that you'd be interested in kind of researching and give a brief description of where you would go with that topic, kind of who would maybe be involved, why you picked it, what you find interesting, what you would focus on. You'll be posting that to the discussion portion that's been posted to Classroom. You should be able to respond to it because later we are going to be giving peer feedback on the topics we've picked. It's actually been super beneficial. Last semester they really liked it because it kind of gave other perspectives to that topic or other directions you could go with it. So that is what we'll be focusing on. If you need topic help, just let me know and send me an email. My office hours for class tomorrow, today, whatever you want to look at it, is 9 to 1 as always. Shoot me a message over that if you need something or whatever. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you. I'm going to bake these cookies and maybe show you a quick little picture of them when they're done. But until then, have a fantastic day. As always, I'm one email away if you need anything. And I look forward to working through this project with you. I promise, it'll be A-okay. All right, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.